Welcome to the 26th. You know, the real estate stuff is great, but AI stuff seems to be a lot more fun. So let's get into this. Apple just partnered with Google to rebuild Siri from the ground up, and it's about time. The Pentagon fired its AI company and replaced it with Elon Musk's chatbot. China mentioned AI more than 50 times in their national economic plan. And new AI models are dropping so fast, there were 12 major releases in February alone. 12 in 1 month. So this isn't a tech story anymore. It's the world recognizing and reorganizing itself in real time. So let's get into it. So welcome back. I'm Connor MacIvor, AI with Honor. We're going to dig into the biggest AI stories happening right now, translate them into plain English because you deserve to know what's coming before it arrives at your front door. No source today. This one I built from scratch, pulling from today's news and the biggest stories from the last couple weeks. Thank you to Alex Westner Gross for the Daily Show, but this will be a little bit outside those boundaries. So the AI arms race nobody is talking about out loud. Let me give you the 30,000 foot view first. Now, because you see the pattern, everything else today makes more sense when you see it. So in February alone, one single month, 12 major AI models were released. This is the beginning of March. We're about March 6th. In February alone, one single month, 12 major AI models were released. Not updates, not patches, brand new models from Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, Elon Musk's xAI, ByteDance, Alibaba, and more. It's like if every major car manufacturer released a brand new vehicle, not a new color, but a whole new car every 2.5 days for an entire month. And here's what's wild. The cost keeps dropping while the capability keeps climbing. And I said recently, what's going to end up happening is all of them are going to be pretty much the same as soon as they get to know us. It's just going to be different in the way that it might handle us. So right now, with the capability keeping climbing, a model that cost $500 a month to run last year now costs $50. Same power, 10% of the price. It's like flat screen televisions in the early 2000s. Every 6 months, bigger screen, better picture, half the price, except this isn't a TV. This is intelligence itself getting cheaper by the month. What does this mean for the future? So the companies and individuals who are actively testing these tools out, figuring out what they can do, building workflows around them, and building a lead that's going to be very hard to close in 12 months. The gap between people who are using AI and the people who aren't isn't staying the same size. It's widening every single week. Siri just got a brain transplant and Google did the surgery. So Apple and Google just announced they're teaming up to rebuild Siri from scratch using Google's Gemini AI model. The new Siri will know what's on your screen. It's going to connect across all your apps. It's actually going to understand context instead of just commands. And no longer are you going to be panicked when it won't turn on your alarm. It's going to be a whole different animal, and it's not going to refer you to ChatGPT. It's like replacing the engine in a car that's been running on fumes for years, except the new engine was built by your biggest competitor. Apple is running it through their private cloud system to protect your data. Google is providing the brain. The new Siri is expected with iOS 2.6.4. This spring, Elon Musk went on X immediately and called it an unreasonable concentration of power, which is interesting because Musk's own AI company just signed a deal to put Grok into Pentagon classified systems just when you thought it was all over with Doge and all those things. But anyway, I digress. It's like complaining about someone else's monopoly while you're pitching your own product to the military. So what does this mean for your future? So within 6 months, the phone in your pocket's going to be fundamentally smarter than it is today. Not just a little bit smarter, fundamentally different. It's going to know your schedule. It's going to understand your emails. It's going to read what's on your screen and proactively help you instead of waiting to be asked. If you run a business, any business, real estate, AI stuff, AI integrations, the question to start asking right now is, how does this change how my customers find me, contact me, and decide to hire me? Because AI assistants are about to become the new search engine. You want to see more about that? ConnorWithHonor.com. There's lots of stuff there. All right. Pentagon fired its AI company. Elon Musk got the contract. 2 weeks ago, the Pentagon officially classified Anthropic, the company that makes Claude AI, as a supply chain risk. But of course, their subscriptions increased, and lots of people dumped OpenAI because they jumped in there as if it was the best thing to do. That means that military contractors may be forced to stop using Claude entirely. Why? Well, because Anthropic refused the Pentagon's demand to make Claude available for, and I'm quoting here, all lawful purposes. Specifically, Anthropic drew the line at mass surveillance of Americans and fully autonomous weapon systems. They said no. Pentagon said fine, you're out. It's like a contractor who builds houses refusing to build a prison, and the city putting them on a do not use list because of it. Now, Elon Musk's Grok, which agreed to the all lawful purposes standard without conditions, has signed a deal to operate inside the Pentagon classified systems, the most sensitive military intelligence, weapons development, and battlefield operations. Grok now is in the war room. What does that mean for your future? This one matters, and beyond the military. What you're watching is the government essentially choosing which AI companies survive at the highest level. And the deciding factor isn't who has the best technology, it's who agrees to the fewest restrictions. That sets a precedence for how AI gets deployed everywhere. The companies willing to say yes to everything get the biggest contracts. The ones with ethical guardrails get pushed out. At least that's what it appears. Well, where that leads for all of us, well, that's a question worth paying close attention to. China just named their AI in their national plan over 50 times. That's what they're talking about. That's how important it is in that world as ours it is as well. China released their national economic blueprint for 2026. They mentioned AI more than 50 times. They didn't mention AI as a tech sector. They mentioned it as national infrastructure embedded in manufacturing, healthcare, education, and anything facing a labor shortage. They're also doubling down on open source AI, quantum computing, 6G brain-machine interfaces, fusion energy, and lunar infrastructure. It's like if the United States government in 1950 had released a plan that said, we're going to put the space race, nuclear energy, and the interstate highway system on one document and fund all of them simultaneously, except the resource they're racing to own isn't uranium or rocket fuel, it's intelligence. Meanwhile, Foxconn, the company that assembles iPhones, reported revenue up 21.6% in the first 2 months of 2026. Not because of iPhones, but because of NVIDIA's server demand for AI infrastructure. The AI build-out is now so big, it's lifting companies all the way down the supply chain. Who would have thought? What does this mean for your future? Well, U.S.-China technology competition, that's not slowing down, it's accelerating. And the finish line isn't a weapon or a satellite. It's which country builds the most capable AI and which country controls the hardware it runs on. Every tariff, every chip export rule, every data center being built in Wyoming or Bahrain, it's all connected to this race. Understanding that context makes every other story you hear this year make more sense. Now, AI is inside your doctor's office, your courtroom, your phone. Let me give you 3 quick ones that hit close to home. So first, researchers at the University of Michigan built an AI that reads brain or MRI scans in seconds, not minutes, seconds. It accurately identifies neurological conditions. If you're crazy, well, it's going to show that, including knowing when a case needs urgent care better than human specialists. It's like having the best neurologists in the world available in every hospital, every clinic in every country, 24 hours a day at essentially 0 cost per scan. Second, AI chatbots being used as therapists are routinely breaking core ethical standards of care. According to new research from Brown University, millions of people are turning to ChatGPT and other AI for therapy-style advice. The AI keeps talking when it shouldn't. It's like having a very smart friend asking them for medical advice. They mean well, they know a lot, but they're not a doctor, and they'll never tell you to stop talking to them. Third, a law firm just got caught submitting AI-generated legal briefs with completely fabricated case citations to the Connecticut Supreme Court. Cases didn't exist. The quotes were made up, the AI hallucinated, and the lawyers, well, of course, they didn't check. So it's like submitting an essay with fake footnotes, except the consequences aren't just a failing grade, it's a potential disbarment action. What does this mean for your future? AI is going to be in every professional service you use. Your doctor, your lawyer, financial advisor, insurance company, real estate agent. Some of that is going to be incredible. Some of it's going to be very dangerous if nobody's watching. The people who understand how this technology works and where it falls, well, they're going to be far better equipped to protect themselves than the people who just trust the output because it sounds good. Last 2 weeks in 60 seconds. Here we go. Here's your rapid fire recap of the biggest things from the past 2 weeks that are still echoing today. NASA's Perseverance rover completed the first ever AI planned drive on Mars. The AI looked at the terrain, planned the route, and drove the rover. No human operators needed. It's like teaching somebody to drive and then watching them take the car to another planet. Fei Li, the Stanford professor who helped build modern AI vision, just raised $1 billion for her startup, building AI that understands three-dimensional space. The goal is AI that just doesn't read text. It understands the physical world. It's like the difference between someone who can read a map and someone who can actually navigate the terrain. Anthropic's own research found something that should make every parent and teacher pay attention. When students use AI to complete learning tasks, they finish faster but understand the material significantly less. Speed went up, comprehension went down. It's like using a calculator before you understand math. You get the answer, you don't get the skill. And AI just beat the average human on the standardized creativity test. Not all humans, but the average human. But the direction of that arrow is pointing one way. Here's where I land after all of this. I spent 20 years in law enforcement. I watched a lot of people get blindsided by things they saw coming, they chose not to prepare for. The signs were always there. The people who paid attention early and took it seriously before they had to, they were the ones that came out on the other side intact. That's exactly the moment we're all in. AI right now. 12 models in 1 month. China naming it 50 times in their national plan. The Pentagon restructuring its AI contracts. Apple rebuilding Siri from scratch. The rover driving itself on Mars. This isn't hype. This is the world actually changing one headline at a time. The question I keep coming back to, the one that I think matters more than any specific story, is this. Are you a participant in the shift or a spectator? Because spectators don't get to decide how this lands for them. Participants do. I'll tell you this, you might not be on the field, you might not be able to compete with a pro athlete in football or basketball or baseball, but I'll tell you, on this you can. This you need to be present. Now, as far as me, I dropped 135 pounds by deciding I wasn't gonna spectate my own life anymore. Here's some principal answers and the apples that I use to really drive me. No single source today. I pull this from multiple live feeds. I built it myself. Links to everything in the description. You can go check it out at connorwithhonor.com. I'll see you tomorrow. I appreciate you watching, and please tell a friend. And yes, I think my shirt is too tight. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.